The sounds have gotten even more unusual than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
It's just screams of pain and anguish.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
Those are dinosaur noises at this point.
Yeah, at this point, sure. Let's get right into it. So hey guys, welcome to another iteration of DBA Downtimes, a spin-off offshoot of our weekly tabletop RPG running the anime campaign Epithet System, known as Destruction Bench Agreement. Basically, it's our way of having a roleplay, nearly entirely centric, little thing that, unlike the main series of DBA, isn't broadcast to the world via TV. It's, either a bunch of characters getting together and setting up for interactions, or maybe it's like a, outside of session story cutscene important thingy mahoos it. Couple varieties. It's basically our RP-centric focus thing for DBA. And we have the people that are here this time. First off, we got Bell.
Hi, I'm Bell Moley. I sometimes go by Alex. I have never done one of these before. I am scared.
And then we got Iris.
Hey everybody, I'm Iris. I have done some of these before and I'm scared.
Alright.
Okay, so it's not just me. Good to know.
Well, while everyone is busy being scared, if you're new around here, you're enjoying yourself, you want to see more, what why, what we're doing, you should join our funny Discord server. Fine dining! There it is! Click the link. And with that, feel free to take it away, you guys.
Okay.
Alright. Do you want to start off, Bell?
I'll just explain this setting. So, I don't know when this happens in relation to the previous downtime, but probably later the same night, where the scene is on the roof of the main DBA building. This is just a small section of it. I didn't want to create a gigantic roof of the entire layout of the building. This is like probably on top of the arena.
Yeah. And, it's very late at night. The sounds of the city just sort of drolling on by. Nothing in particular going on. Until, thanks to a certain letter that a certain someone has received, silhouetted against, I imagine, it's, difficult to see since it's nighttime, but you can see it blocking out some of the stars and the moon. A sort of like, kind of formless, like, dark shape that is just, it looks just sort of like a pillar of darkness itself, wends its way through the air before settling on this very roof. And, from the cloud of blackness, a shape forms, and a certain someone is here. And she sort of folds her arms and, like, looks back and forth, tapping her foot a bit.
And then, shortly after she arrives, she hears something come from behind her. Oh well. And here I was beginning to think you wouldn't show up.
Right, it's you. I remember you. It took me a second. Yeah, no. Figured I might as well show up, because, I thought about it, right? And it's like, well, if this is like a trap of some kind, I doubt any of you are actually going to try to kill me, what with, Wiriala's soul still knocking around in here somewhere. Honestly, a nice little bargaining chip that, I was given. And I also figured, might as well see what you have to say. I'm curious.
Well, suppose first thing first. How's it feel to be back in control again?
Oh, better than you could ever imagine, I'm sure. I can actually breathe a full breath, fully flex my muscles, and take my original form again. It's like surfacing after, holding your breath underwater for a really long time.
I can imagine it was quite the arduous trial after what happened last time.
You could say that, yeah. It wasn't the greatest host body, let's be honest. But, easily enough, I managed to take it, and at this point, I'll take anything,
Well, that's entirely valid. I mean, a body that works is better than one you're forced to sit by and watch the world go by, eh?
I'm glad you understand.
Of course.
So go on. Cut to the chase. Why do you send me that letter? What someone like you got to say to someone like me?
Well, as much as you've probably heard it before or think it's asinine, I want to know why.
Why?
Why you want to rip and tear, so to speak. What drives you to kill?
I mean, it's like I told that blonde kid and Naomi the other day. It's just our nature. That's how my kind is created. We're created from a very, like, it feels stupid using science words at you, but like basically it's like you synthesize a primal emotion, an instinct. From what I can tell, you basically distill that down to its purest elements, and that serves as a base to build up from. Sort of the, the base for a chemical reaction, I guess. Whatever. And, well, that's my desire. Carnage, bloodshed, battle, rage, and telling me to go against that, or asking me why I do that, is like asking you why you breathe. Why blood pumps through your veins. It's just how you work.
You said that I probably wouldn't understand. But I think I'd understand better than most other people anyway. In a way.
Oh, yeah?
In a way, we're more alike than you'd like to think.
It's not like I know much about you. When we were together, it was all, doing our missions and stuff.
All killing God and all that.
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said that wasn't fun, but... It's not until recently I realized why I found that fun. This is gonna take some explanation, so...
Well,
You're
feel
probably
free.
wondering how I got that letter to you. It just kind of appeared in your hand is how I was led to believe it's...
It sort of showed up on, like, a table next to me, but, yeah, pretty much, I mean, I just figure all you freaks have your own freak show powers to go along with, I just sort of didn't question it too much.
An explanation. I had seen the episode where you took control back, and it was certainly interesting seeing you come back in full force. That's one way of saying it. But not long after that, came across a woman in a green dress. She seemed fascinated by me. First, I didn't know what it was about, but after she finally got my attention, she explained something about how there are certain beings in this universe brought to existence just to end things, if that makes any sense. She referred to that sort of creature as a facet of oblivion. Took me a bit to understand it, but turns out the reason she was so interested in me is because I am one of those things. Created to destroy.
Really?
When I looked at you during that episode, and your desire to kill and destroy, I saw Saw a bit of my old self, if I'm honest. Who I used to be. The whole kill everything that moves, leave nothing alive. That's why I wanted to talk to you. Because I was given a second chance. I was given the opportunity to learn that a path of destruction, oh, it's fun in the moment. Once it ends, it always ends in death. And I wanted to see if I could give you the same chance. Huh. There's always other directions things can go. But from what I can tell, the path you're on, it has no happy endings for anybody.
She
I'm
sort
not-
of sighs.
I'm not saying to go against your nature or anything, that'd be ridiculous. What was she doing?
She sort of like sighs and has her arms folded. Kind of like thinks to herself for a minute. What do you know about the path I'm on exactly? Other than one of, that suits a creature like me.
What I know of that path, I know because I've walked that path. Something you didn't know about me is that before my epithet awakened, I was just a regular kid. I had a couple scientist parents, everything was neat. Mom would invent something, Dad would create some new chemical. Everything was neat. And then they discovered some science with antimatter. I didn't really care much at the time. Once people started hunting them down over it, I started to care a bit more. And once those people took everything I had away, well, there's not much more terrifying or powerful than someone with nothing to lose.
Uh-huh.
You and I, we walk a similar path. Like I've said a few times now. Back when I had lost everything, I called it forming a gang, gathering resources. But really, it was just an excuse to find people to kill. At first, I tried to find people who were worthy of it. The people who killed my parents, for example. They were first. And the people who were helping them in everything. Tear down their organizations and cut off the head. And then it became something more. Something close to what you are now. Killing for the sake of killing. Ripping apart for the sake of the rush of adrenaline. That path, if I had changed the path at the start, it would have ended differently. But a path of destruction for the sake of death. Eventually, you'll try to kill someone who is stronger. And it won't always be obvious, but by the time you find out that they're stronger, it'll be too late. That's what happened to me. It didn't happen all at once, me losing my humanity, so to speak. But eventually, everyone I thought I cared about dead around me, and I realized I didn't care about them. It dawned on me that it was my fault that everything happened, and that I had been spared by that bastard. And it was the greatest gift he gave me, and also the biggest curse. I'm rambling, aren't I? Does that even make any sense to you?
No, I get it. But it seems like you're not totally aware of the specifics of what I'm trying to do. You only know the basics, and that's fine. Let me enlighten
everything
you.
I know about void demons I found out from that woman in the dress. That.
Uh-huh. Well, let me enlighten you the same way I did Naomi and that blonde kid, Beast. She reaches into a pocket, and she produces a sort of like, I've described it before as essentially a very strangely shaped tesseract-like item, shapes within shapes, sort of covered in like these glowing runes, in the shape of a sort of just complex dodecahedron that seems to be constantly shifting. I've been contacted by a specific organization that has an interest in me and my other, stupid to say, family members, but the other demons like me. I'm not going to go into the exact details, but I can tell you that their goals align with ours. The one who created us, the Oracle, she's our ultimate sort of goal. Because if the lot of us are able to destroy her and feast on her flesh and take all of her infinite power for ourselves, then we can become more than this. Than more than what you're saying. We'll be more than just a primal instinct. We'll be able to actually... How do I say this? We'll be able to decide our own fate instead of being tied to the one that she set us out on.
So that's the reason, huh? You want to be in control of your own fate instead of just your own body.
Exactly.
I can respect it.
And if I could take her body while I'm at it, who knows how much power is latent within her. We don't actually know much about her, see? We only have basic knowledge that one would have from staring out of a test tube at the researcher creating you.
See.
But essentially, she's a godlike being who's able to create entire dimensions, entire planes. And me and my pseudo-siblings, well, for one reason or another, it's not all quite the exact same thing as what I'm saying. That's what I want to do. But for one reason or another, most of us at least, she sort of spits on the ground, are aligned in this one specific way. And Providence is going to help us get to that.
And who's Providence?
The organization I mentioned. Very secretive, doesn't really mean anything to me. But me and the others are all one of their apostles, they call them. Sort of like we all fit under the same title or whatever. The leader is obsessed with these titles and roles, I guess. But she sees our potential, and we have a sort of mutually beneficial relationship.
And what happens when that relationship stops being mutually beneficial?
I don't know. Either way, whether she helps us or not, I'm gonna make sure we find wherever she's hiding and drag her down from her throne.
Quite
Piece by bloody piece.
I mean, the leader of this Providence, what if they suddenly turn? What then? They're brave enough to work with you. Maybe they're strong enough to fight you. And then what happens?
From what I've seen of them, they're strong enough to fight just about anyone or anything. But again, as of right now, me and a select few, at least, are making ourselves useful enough, running her errands, that there's no reason for her to turn on us. But don't get me wrong, I'm not naive enough to trust anyone that blindly.
Good.
If she does decide to do something, then, well, I'll handle myself when it comes to that. After all, I have this thing that, they themselves gave me. It can take you anywhere in existence.
Huh.
As long as you've been there before.
Most interesting indeed.
Stupid thing's hard to control, though. Sometimes it just takes you to some other random place.
See.
Anyway.
We're getting off topic. I brought you here because I want to offer you the same chance that I was offered. I know you're not the sort of to turn your back on the whole kill sort of mentality. But if you won't accept the olive branch of, say, redemption or anything, then let me leave you with a warning. There's a group that is already upset with you. If it weren't for Lyriala, I'm pretty sure that Naomi and the others, I may not know them very well, but I can tell that if they got upset enough, they would hunt down the source of what upset them.
Oh,
And they have
I'm
DBA
sure.
at their backs.
I'm sure. But frankly, that's what's so fun about it, you know? They're the ones that preserved that little runt's soul somewhere inside of me, I guess. I can't really sense it or anything, but I've been told that it's there. And because of that, they've sort of sealed their own fates. They can't go after me without destroying whatever hope of getting her back they might have. So unless they find a way to pull her to fully separate us, then that's just how it's gonna stay.
That's just the thing. These people are determined enough, and with DBA's, DBA always seems to get its way whether we want it to or not. And once they do get their way, there'll be nothing stopping them from hunting you down.
Well, if that's the case, then they can feel free to come at me in whatever manner they see fit. I'll be ready, and I'll be waiting.
I didn't think you'd listen to me. Ah, well.
I mean, it's the same thing I've told Naomi before when she's talked to me about this. I get what you're saying. I get, she sort of purses her lips and frowns. For me, what I told you, destroying the one who created us, that is my redemption, as far as I'm concerned. But,
of course,
in terms of everything else, to be honest, now that I do have this body back, it's I don't know. It's not like I need to kill absolutely everybody I run into. I'm not killing you right now, and I never, tried to kill all of them. So it's if that's what they want, some kind of truce or peace agreement, then that's fine, as long as it... Listen, it's not like I'm completely unreasonable. I understand what you're all saying. I've been focused on getting this body back for so long that I haven't really left room in myself for anything else. But now that I have, I don't know. I don't know how exactly I'd go about this, though, because like you said yourself, even if I wanted to make friends or whatever, not saying I do, but even if I wanted to, they would hunt me down for what I did to her anyway. That's sort of, again, the nature that we were all born with. We have to take from others. Whether it's a body, a soul, an emotion, every one of us has to take in order to live. And humans are the same way, to a lesser extent.
And if you take the Oracle's power, then their life isn't all take, kill, and destroy.
Infinite possibilities. That's what I want.
I get
see?
Ya.
So, if you want to talk to all of them and say something, you feel free. But again...
You really think if I told them I talked to you, and then didn't do anything to try and help Lyriala, but instead tried to talk you down into being a good person? If I told them any of that, they'd probably attack me on the spot.
No, I don't think they would. Not Naomi, at least. Naomi's been trying to do the same thing you're doing now. Convince me away from all this. But now that I have a clear goal in mind, and I have this body, if all of you find a way to separate her from me, then, well, I don't know after that.
So, let's take one more hypothetical. You get to this oracle. You kill her and take her power. What comes next? World domination? Being happy? Living in a mountain cave all hermit-like? What's your plan after that?
She sort of, smirks. Well, that's the beauty of it. I don't know what's next after that. That's what's so enticing about it. Because I'm not so bold as to think that my perspective on things won't change if I could get even a fraction of that limitless knowledge that she has. That's why she's called the Oracle. She's basically omniscient. And if I had some of that knowledge, then who knows what I'll do next? I don't know. But that's what I'm excited to find out. I mean, the rest of the demons.
Right. I getcha.
So I guess it's kind of in your hands now, and the group you're talking about, Naomi, and there were others. I guess it sort of extends to DBA as a whole. Whatever you want to do, it's your move now. I've got what I wanted. And I'm not gonna, there's no reason for me to try to, fight all of you, unless there's a good reason to. I know you're all strong, and I'm only at a tiny, tiny percent of what power I used to have.
It's only hitting me now. I have trouble explaining what exactly I meant. They don't see you as much of a person at this point. What they see you as a monster that just wants to end the world. I don't think they get what you want here. How you just want to be truly free. How you were created. You're created with a specific purpose and the inability to deviate from it. That's our biggest difference. I was able to refuse my purpose and change to create instead of destroy. But they don't get that. Their whole idea is that you just want to kill them. That's all they think you want. That they think you getting this oracle's power will mean the end of the world. And maybe it will. But I've said it before, but when I look at you, I see a bit of what I used to be and what I could have been if I hadn't gotten my ass kicked.
Yeah. Well,
So,
again...
Once you've gotten power, and once you've gotten to be omniscient, just remember that nothing's permanent, and that you don't have to be death, evil, murder, kill. Because
I get that.
That path lies pain for everyone, including yourself.
And again, I get that. And I've at least explained the situation to Naomi and Vise, like I said. So you can always talk to them about it, at least. They're on the same page. But as for, the rest of the organization you're talking about, yeah, of course they'd see me that way. I mean, it's the same that's been true throughout the centuries as I've, existed. It's kinda not really on your mind that you want to make friends when A, you're full of this just bloodlust and desire to rip things up, and the fact that usually the way people first meet me is through me trying to take their bodies away, and then everybody else gotta exorcise the demon and all that stuff. Of course, that shit never works. But I'm sure you can imagine how aware I am of what you're saying. I get it. But again, I've explained it to you and to the other two now. And if they want to do something about that, then go for it, I guess.
Wish gets a thoughtful look on her face and just says, even if a body was custom made for you, no soul to that within it already, would that even work for you?
No, that wouldn't work. It has to have a soul inside it. That's sort of like the fuel to burn the fire, you know? It has to... That's the thing. Like I said, you have to take for us to continue to persist. And again, we all take different things for the most part. But in my case, if there's nothing, if it's just a hollow shell and there's nothing in it to take from, then that's just an empty platter, so to speak.
Look, Wish looks at the ground, thoughtful. She turns away a little bit and pulls something out of her pocket, and looks at it. She's looking at it for long enough that you can get a sort of a glimpse of it. It seems to be a sort of like a model of a white tornado of some sort, except instead of pulling inward, it's pushing outward. And after a moment, Wish puts it back into her pocket and just says, I don't know if I could get it to work, but I know someone who might be able to do something for me. Something to keep Lyrialis safe so you don't have Naomi and the others hounding you down, and something to give you a body with a fuel source that won't upset anyone.
I see. I'm not overly excited about something like that, just because it's like, well, I finally got a body again. And the thing is, even if I left this one, that wouldn't bring Lyriala back in any way. She'd still be attached to me.
Well, if anyone
if I left
could figure
this one, it would just turn to ash.
I see. Well, if anyone could figure out a way to separate you two, it would be Esmeralda.
Alright. Again, I'm open to whatever possibilities that a lot of you want. It's not like, it's not like I'm the one driving this forward.
But you kind of are in a way. You're the one who has ambitions. Everyone else just wants their friend back. Except me. I'm just kind of alone.
Yeah, we do have a lot in common then.
I'm glad you finally see that.
Uh-huh. Anyway. Again, feel free to talk to them. They get it. And you can go from there if you want. I don't know why you're putting in so much work for the little brat. But hey.
Oh, I'm not doing this for Lyriala. I like the kid, but she doesn't need someone like me. No, it's you that I'm here for. You deserve the second chance that I was given. After all, you were created just to kill things. And I wouldn't wish that kind of fate on anyone. If I can help someone break free of that, well, I'll do what I can. There's a woman you can find around DBA, but I'm sure if you seek her out, she'll find you sooner or later. Her name is Esmeralda Ravenfeather.
She sort of has a somber look on her face, surprisingly, while you're talking about giving her a second chance and all that. She sort of looks down and just, like, ponders for a minute. Alright, well, I'll remember the name at the very least.
She did tell me that there was a return system on those letters, although it seems a bit asinine. Apparently, if you write your response on the back of the letter, reseal it, and throw it in the air, it returns to her for some reason.
Really?
Apparently. I don't know, I just wrote the letter. She's the one who sent it to you.
No, I'll see about sending something then. Not really sure what, but yeah. Talk to Naomi. She and you share a similar enough mindset, even if it's for different reasons. So yeah.
I just
Sort
do
of
that.
tsundere look on her face.
Well, glad we could have this conversation, Shira.
Right. It was definitely a lot more interesting than I thought it might be. But, yeah, she sort of taps her foot a few times. I appreciate it, I suppose.
I'd say no problem, but I did have to go out of my way to make sure no one else would know about this. No one comes up here, but best to be safe.
Uh-huh. Well, guess we both know more now, and, I'll probably run into you again eventually.
But the way DBA works, if I participate in anything, I'll meet you sooner or later.
Yeah.
See you around, Jira.
Yeah, let me see where this dumbass thing leads me this time. Hold on. She takes out the device again.
As Jira is messing with it, Wish, like, sort of holds up a hand, the palm facing away from Jira, and disappears.
And, after a moment, a, portal would appear with just very bright, almost fluorescently white light beyond it. And she walks through it, and it disappears a moment later.
Okay, and
yeah, I think that's...
And after Jira disappears, a moment passes, and then... Hold on, let me think it was a moment later, Wish would reappear and just... What am I doing? Fuck it, it's more interesting this way. Everyone sees her as the villain, but no one's beyond redemption. I know that better than anyone. She'd look up to the moon and she'd look to both of her hands. Then she'd look to both of her hands. On one hand is a gold ring with 3 purple gems on it, and on the other is a pure black ring. She focuses on the black ring. Hold on just a second.
No problem.
Okay, sorry about that. She looks at the rings on her hand and focuses on the black one a bit, and it's just... I may have been able to handle her in a fight, but the more I think about it, the more I don't want to fight her. Yeah, she's a bitch, but so is everyone at some point in their lives. Well, whatever. Maybe I should take her up on seeing Naomi. Been a while since I talked to her. Not since the whole shit with Adam. Oh well. And she would walk to the edge of the roof and hop down. And that's the end. That's the end, I guess.
Cool. That was very fun. I think that was very interesting.
It was. Didn't go quite how I expected it to, but this makes sense in retrospect.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, obviously, thank you, Belmoli, for starting this one, and thank you, Austin, for streaming, and everybody else for watching.
And thank you, Iris, for letting this happen.
Of course, I was down for it. It was very cool.
Mm-hmm. And so, hey, everyone.
When I sent the message, I felt like I was forcing myself into your plot.
No, it's all good. I want more connections and more cool stuff going on.
Yeah. And so,
I'm just glad you were interested.
yeah. Thank you all for watching, as always. Thank you to everyone involved. And for now, anyway, say goodbye to chat, everybody. Actually, I should post the Discord first as well. Ah!